I really get scared when I see the warning that connection is unstable because later on I view it and the video cuts out. Sometimes it's okay, hopefully I'm back on now. But yesterday I went to a speed dating event here in Taiwan. A little bit of background: speed dating is really popular here in Taiwan because the Taiwanese people were really alarmed at the low birth rates here in Taiwan. I think the average family now has only zero point 0.7 children here in Taiwan. Back home in the US, at least it's 1 point something. Here in Taiwan, it's 0.7, if you can believe it. And a lot of speed dating events. Now, the first thing I realized before I even got there was, thank God that the event doesn't center around alcohol. Back home in the US, speed dating is almost always a drinking event. And now, do people pressure me to drink? Is that why I don't like it? Not necessarily. But what I do find a big problem is that the drinking environment, when people are drunk, they tend to be rowdy. And then you tend and then when I go to a speed dating event where other people are already drunk, I have to outperform them, right? In terms of the otherwise all the eyes are going to be drawn somewhere else, right? That's just the reality of it. I don't like it that way, but a lot of times I'm having to outcompete people who are drunk and rowdy just for attention, and it doesn't go really well, right? Here in Taiwan, I actually get to be myself when I go to a speed dating event. I have a funny story. I was at another event in the US, and so the other guys there were drinking. This was before some of the girls had arrived. The guys had already been drinking, and I was praying to the God of dislikes. And so I'll never forget that environment. You know, the difference in what we were doing to prepare. You know, I don't necessarily believe in the God of dislikes. The only reason I pray it is I don't want to later on regret, what if I had just prayed to the God of dislikes, right? It's the same reason some people pray to other gods, right? We call it Pascal's wager. Google it if you're curious about that. But I suffer from Pascal's wager myself, even with a stupid religion that I invented myself, right? I don't know if this is how religions begin, but I actually had a student. I was working at a tutoring center. The kid was 8, 9 years old. We were coming up to a Christmas, and I asked him if he believed in Santa Claus, and he said that you might as well believe in it because what if it's true and I don't? You know, it's gonna hurt, right? And so even he believed in Pascal's wager. He didn't realize that it's the same reason for religion, but so apparently it's not uncommon to believe in it, right? Even an 8-year-old kid could relate. Now, I so first thing I realized is that it didn't center around alcohol, and I got to be myself, and actually will listen to me when go swimming in alligator water for video, haha. But I got to connect with a lot of people there, and the other thing I liked is that people actually go to speed dating events for the right reason. I can't tell you how many people in the US go for the wrong reasons. They're promoting something, right? There's a lot of influencers who go to speed dating events to sell content. There's other people who go there just up, and just a lot. The percentage of people who go there for actual dating is just ridiculously low, right? At a typical American speed dating event. The other problem is that speed dating in the United States has been incredibly commercialized, right? It almost feels like a real life version of online dating. It really does sometimes. Um, Hopefully, my internet connection is working right. Oh, your connection is unstable. All right, I'm going to give it a few moments. Hopefully it's back now. Okay, but back home in the US, a lot of people go to speed dating events for the wrong reasons, and also speed dating is very commercialized. I hope you guys caught that. And I also people at speed dating events it'd be so bad. But if I'm talking to a whole group of people, I find that I have to be careful how I lay out the story because a lot of people don't have a good attention span. So imagine I have a story that's, let's say it's 5 sentences long, A, B, C, D, E. And that's what I want to say, right? I have to be careful and lay out the story in a way that if I only get to say A, B, C and I get cut off, it doesn't distort the meaning of the story, right? Uh, because there's a good chance I'm not going to be able to finish a thought that I want to say. And so you have to be careful that your story doesn't have sarcasm or doesn't an issue where you could be cut off and misconstrued, right? And the amount of mental RAM that has to be spent arranging your story in that way sometimes will kill the environment, right? Let me give you an example. I had gone home to my family. My mom is really guilty of interrupting all the time. Hope I'm still recording. One time, my mom and I were shopping for clothes at a Goodwill, and she thought something would look. The problem was that it was a. I hope I'm still being recorded. Come on. Okay. One time, my mom and I were shopping for clothes, and so she wanted me to buy something that was a size too big, and I worried. I have binge eating problems. I worried that having clothes too big for me would not be mindful of what I'm doing. Right. I told my mom in a pinch. I told my mom that's it's fat of saying 5 sentences and not worrying about mom cutting me off. Right? And she misconstrued that in some weird way, right? And that's a big problem, right? A short attention span doesn't just cut you off, but it also forces stories in weird ways that might make you look bad, right? Uh, Now that's a very minor example, and it only happened with mom. But you can only imagine what it might happen, how it might turn out if you're trying to make a move on a girl and the rest of the table might interrupt, right? It forces you to cut your stories in weird ways. And anyways, I'm gonna re-record because it looks like my internet isn't working too well. I'm gonna review this video, make sure it sounds right. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.